so we was talking about I was at a community forum, and me and this guy actually had a dialogue going back and forth, and because he had made a statement like, if you're detained by the cops, just do what they say, and they had this motto, it goes, rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So basically, just get your day in court, do what the cop says, and let it play out basically. And my only objection to that, and I understand that you put yourself in a compromising position, not knowing what the officer mentality is, not knowing what what's he like, all the extra stuff. But the point I was trying to make is, when you don't stand up for your divine right, every single time you let somebody come in and compromise who you are and your connection to the Most High, it's like you failing to defend that connection. There is a divine right, there's a universal law which we have to be able to defend. The same way we got soldiers that go over in other countries and defend America at the cost of their lives, if that may be the case. We have to defend our connection to the Most High. We have to defend natural law. We have to defend the natural harmony and balance in which we live with our lives. And so, yeah, we may be in certain situations that may compromise, not even compromise, we might be in situations that may put us in difficult situations. But how you deal with that situation, where are you leaning on? Are you leaning on fear? Are you leaning on faith? If you stand up in faith, then you have a duty to the Most High. You have a duty not just to the Most High, but what the Most High represents. And that's nature, natural, your people, your connection. So we can't just, let a cop do whatever he wants because we gave him man-made laws and we gave him, these rights that, are kind of reinforced by this proposed authority. So that was my whole thing. It's that connection to the Most High is more important than anything.
You say you moved to PA at 13, right?
Yeah. 13.
Was you mad about moving from New York?
Man.
Not saying you didn't like PA, but you young, you don't know nobody. You leaving your friends, your family, some of your family and stuff like that.
That's wild you ask me that. I really don't even. I kind of don't think about it because the way we left and why we left was kind of like it wasn't just a smooth transition. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know this. We don't really talk about it. But what happened was, it was 6 of us in a house. And like I said, my father was the only one working. And we actually ended up getting evicted. We got evicted out of the place and we didn't have a place to live. And my sisters will probably be able to tell you the duration a little bit better, but I'm going to say anywhere from 6 months to, probably 6 months to 8 months, my family was split up. So the girls, one of my sisters lived with one aunt, 2 of my sisters lived with another aunt. The boys lived with my grandmother. My mother lived with her grandmother, and my father stayed in Staten Island so that he could go to work. So we were split up for a long time, like for a good amount of time to know you're not around your family. Mm-hmm. So we went from, one place to another. Then half the family moved up to Pennsylvania. And before that, then I lived, because we couldn't stay in our grandmother's house. I went to my other grandmother's house on my mother's side, and I ended up having to commute back and forth to high school or junior high. We was in Brooklyn. No, we was in the Bronx. My grandmother lived in the Bronx. We was in Bronx going to Staten Island every morning, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going out with my dad. So we did that for a period of time, and that was like, it was stressful, exhausting, and you didn't really see your family. So you grow up, you don't really know the situation, you just know how you feel about the situation. So growing up, like when we was in there, I just knew we were split up. You know what I mean? The family was split up. At once was a tight-knit thing, now we're split up. So, and then we had to go to school from, you know what I mean? And it was like, are we moving, are we not moving? Do we have a place to stay? So then when we actually did move, like the actual family got up and went to Pennsylvania, it was one house, and we stayed in that house for 2 months. And then we had to leave that house. So we went from that house to the other house. So to answer the question, it wasn't like, did I like it or not? Man, the whole situation had just been so like up in the air, and you don't really know what's going on. And as a kid, you don't know no better. That's the biggest thing because you just going with everything that, okay, this is what we have to do. It wasn't until you look back on like, oh, this is what happened, and this is why we had to move like that. So it wasn't like, okay, did you like Pennsylvania? I was just happy to be settled.
Back with your family.
Yeah, like
most definitely.
My brothers was back, my sisters was back. You know what I'm saying? Like we was in the house, and now we're going to another school, and we can continue. Because before there were certain things that we couldn't really get involved in because we didn't know when we were leaving. We didn't know where we were gonna be staying. We didn't know where we were gonna leave. I remember I was in an actual band, and I was playing the instrument, but I couldn't take the instrument home because I didn't know whether I was gonna be able to come back to school on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, what instrument was you playing?
Man, the first time I played was a trombone, and I was nice with the trombone too. If I would have been able to practice, I'd have been nicer with it. But I love playing the trombone, and because it was such a rare instrument for kids my age to play, because I was like, I had some height on me, and I had long arms, so I was able to play the trombone. And then the next year I started playing the violin, and I ended up staying there long enough just to learn the basics of violin. It's a long time now, I don't really know it, but I was there just to learn the basics for violin, and then we left. And then I never played another instrument after that. So yeah, that was the transition of the PA. And I was surprised to see black people up there, to be honest with you. I was surprised to see black people up there, but they were up there. You know what I mean?
We talked about how the white people acted. How did our people act up there?
I wouldn't say it wasn't anything out of the norm. It's like if you move from New York and now you're in the mountains, and now you're in like the mountains. And honestly, the landscape from where I lived at is similar to the landscape of Georgia. So it's a lot of wooded areas. You have your developments, you have your subdivisions, your communities, things like that. But you just have black, and then you have your not, I wouldn't say lower class, but your lower income like communities. So people just acted the same. They brought that New York mentality to Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? Girls being girls, dudes being dudes, like, you know what I mean? Fighting. In my high school, there was a lot of fights. We was actually known for the high school that fought. Yeah, like the first graduation they ever had, but there was a stabbing at the graduation. The next year, there was a big ass brawl that was on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like 13 was fighting. Like it was basically take the people from the city and just give them a little bit more open space. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really out of the norm. You know what I mean?
But let's go back to your siblings. Tell me, break down. You say your sister was a painter.
Yeah. So my oldest sister, she is an artist for real. Like it's dope. She paints. She's an artist. You know what I'm saying? She paints, she draws, and she uses her own experience, whether it be pleasure or pain, to fuel her art. So she's always been like a really dope artist. I've always been impressed with that. I got two younger sisters who don't really get too much into the artistry, but my sister has a brand. It's called Minding My Faith. She works real closely with a lot of churches, which is kind of, and I'm like, she understands the Most High, but she has after my father passed, she started leaning into the church and into Christianity, which I don't really like, but I love my sister, and I know that she has a great heart, so, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. Then my other sister, she's not really the artist type. She does poetry, you know what I'm saying, everybody writes, but in terms of actually presenting their writings and going out performing, that wasn't really her, because she wrote some poetry. When I first wrote it, like, when it was funny, because as I was on my journey, I lived with her for a little bit of time. She gave me a folder one time, because she knew I wrote, and she showed me her writings that never saw the light of day. So I know she wrote. It's me and my little brothers. They're crazy creative artists. My brother's he raps, and the boy nice, like crazy nice. So much so that's why I don't rap, and I make sure that I do not rap, because when I first started, I did not want to get in his lane. You feel me? I wasn't about to be on the competition like, nah, you got this. He invested himself. He invested time, money. He built his own studio twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, and to see him go hard and like to make sacrifices, because he was like a 3.0, 3.5 student in college and dropped out his senior year because he wanted to pursue music. You know what I'm saying? So to see his drive, his dedication, that's always been dope, especially coming from someone that's younger than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then my youngest brother, he graduated from film school. So he graduated from film school. He does movie video production. Me and him actually had a video production company at one point in time because I went to school for video production as well. But he graduated from film school, and now he wants to be an actor / director. But his vision is crazy too, because when it comes to the camera angles and shots and his imagination, like he was 17 sending off short films to Sundance film festivals, Paradise, what's it called? I forgot the exact, probably Paradise Film Festivals or something like that. But he was 17 writing plays, you know what I mean? I actually performed in one of his plays. So it's really dope to see the family. Everybody supports each other. Everybody's like, you know what I mean, has an art, has a creative aspect to their life. So it's definitely.
It would be dope if y'all came together and just did like a family thing. Y'all ever had family reunions? It could be a dope talent show at your family reunion.
Yeah, it's crazy you say that because like we grew up, it was really us against the world. So even as we're older, we still kind of have that same mentality. Like, of course, we have family around, but whenever we come together, it's the immediate family. And man, when I tell you in terms of like collaborating, there was point in times where it'd be hard to collaborate because everyone was off doing their own thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was hard to collaborate because, you know, my sisters didn't like to move to Pennsylvania because I was still, 12, 13. They were already in high school. They had already had a foundation of friends, their social life. We talking about people that were either a year away from graduating high school or 2 years away from graduating high school, you know what I mean? Or like just came back, my older sister, just came back from college. So they didn't like to move to Pennsylvania. So when they could go, they got up and left, you know what I'm saying? Now my little brothers, it's a different story because I was the one that actually got up and left, you know what I'm saying? I went to school and then I was finding my own way while my brothers was being home, being creative. So throughout the whole progression of things, I've worked with my sister. My sisters worked with my brothers. Me and my brother worked together, you know what I'm saying? Like a little here and there, but never came together on an actual like one from Wayne family thing. Like
it was funny you say. I was thinking that
yeah.
y'all are the goddamn Wayne family.
And then but it's funny because my mother had always preached that. She's like, Ketta, you, Shaka, and Mikael, y'all gotta come together and create pride. And me and Mick, my little, we worked together on things for years. Me and Shaka did little things here and there, but it was always like, it was nothing. It was never anything that was like long term, like stood the test of time, longevity. So just here and there, we worked together on stuff.
Yo,
it's always been great.
If you write if you write plays, your brother write plays,
mm-hmm.
your mother a writer,
mm-hmm.
your sister a painter. Like, why won't y'all get your brother rap? He nice.
Yeah.
Like the way my mind think is like, y'all get together, y'all write the script, shoot it. Your sister do some of the artwork in a have some of her paintings inside the house that y'all shoot in. Your brother, he do the soundtrack. That just seemed like it's easy math.
It would, and I'll tell you exactly why it didn't. Because throughout the progress, throughout the progression of things, everyone was at different levels of their creativity. It was never to a point where everybody was on the same level or progression of their creativity. Like when my brother was all in, like going hard and stuff like that, I was going through trouble. So I was going through my thing, and my little brother was coming up and finding his own way. Then when my brother found his own way and me and him linked up, my other little brother kind of fell back and had to deal with some life issues that he was going through. It's the same thing with my sister. My sister was, at the height of her painting. I wasn't where I was at creativity-wise. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't, producing my art. So, and then likewise with my other little brother, you know what I'm saying? Them two worked on projects together, but I wasn't around because I was living off wherever I was staying at the time. Then my other two sisters, they didn't really like dove into the arts, but they just kept it to themselves. So it was just little things. But I say that to say this: there have been times that we've been able to utilize each other's art. Like the cover for my CD in my book is a painting that my sister painted. You know what I'm saying? She did the artwork. She's accredited for the artwork of the cover in the book. Me and my little brother, we produced 2 projects together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My little brother, we had 2 projects that we produced together. they never really got pushed like that. But then the one project that I did push and like had, you know, I invested in, had, you know, the budget for it, put it on iTunes, things like that. My younger brother executive produced it. You know what I'm saying? So there's been times where we like utilize each other, but never on no like
a massive level.
Yeah, like this is the family business. We just gonna produce stuff. And me and my mother wrote a play together. So like here and there we have worked together, but you know what I'm saying, like, you know, we'll see how things go in the future.
Who would be the person to make it all go and come together?
If you ask me, it's tough.
Who is the person?
The one person I would say that it depends on is my little brother Shaka. Shaka is probably the most like when he gets on his focus, when he gets focused on what he does, his creativity is out of this world, like his drive and determination. But he is a certain type of way. Like he has a specific personality. I'm not saying good or bad, but he's an artist in the truest sense. Because if he doesn't feel like the chemistry is there, he's not gonna want to create the project. And so me and him, we've been at odds before. You know what I'm saying? Him being my little brother, he want to be better than me. We got brother siblings, so a lot of times we clash. You know what I'm saying? If we're in the same creative space, we clash, and I just recognize that. But if it was him, if me and him, my little brother, he's gonna come in and be him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a baby. If we were able to come into the room and create something, if me and him could gel, then yeah, that would be it. Now my older sister, she's a new mother, so I'm not sure with her, but she's smart. Like she graduated magna cum laude in political science, so she's an intelligent woman, but she just had a newborn. You know what I'm saying? Last November, so it's about a year and some change. And I say that because my mother has always preached to us, yo, we work together, and it's just a matter of us having to come together and us being able to gel in the same creative space. And I would say if Shaka wanted to, like I would always want to, you know what I'm saying? I would always, depending on what I got going on, because I just know the talent that my little brothers have. But if Shaka ever was like, all right, yo, let's do something, I would be, all right, I'm all ears, like what you trying to put together. But it would take that, you know what I'm saying? Because my other little brother, we work on stuff anyway.
Have you ever like, when the last time all of y'all was in the same together?
And it's probably my fault it's been like this, but it's been a while because me and Shaka always miss each other. Like I was there for Thanksgiving, he wasn't. He was there, October was his birthday, I didn't make it back up there. But outside of that, last Thanksgiving, everyone was there except for Shaka.
Have y'all ever, when the next time y'all get together, I will just push that.
I'm pushing, but he got his own life now. You know what I'm saying? He's older now. He's gotten away from the creative art of rapping. Now he's figuring out his life plans. You know what I'm saying? Like, because before 22, 23, 24, 25 even, now he's 27. You know what I'm saying? He's living out there doing his own thing, working and growing in whatever industry he's in. So we don't really communicate like that as we should or as I would want to. But I understand, like, as people grow up, they start living their own lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They start doing their own thing. What I hope for, just because to be honest, I want a certain level of creative success, not necessarily success, but creative success to the point where I can produce projects on my own platform and on a regular scheduled basis, to where he sees what I'm doing and comes to me and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I like what you're doing. Then I would be like, yo, come over here, you know what I'm saying? Come help me with this. You feel me? Because I would love to work with my brother. I just know what he do. Like my other brother who did who graduated from film school, when he come, like I've been telling him, yo, come down to Atlanta. When he come down to Atlanta, he gonna direct all of my shorts. He gonna direct all of my videos. You know what I'm saying? Because I know his vision and I know like he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And his creativity. So with by his grace, I say that by his grace, me and my brothers come together on a project. You know what I'm saying? Like soon.
For real. Because
Yeah,
I mean, that much talent. Because if you saying your brother nice,
man, crazy.
He has stuff on Apple.
Yeah, he has stuff on Apple. He has stuff.
I'm gonna get it before. What's the
what's the name of his last one? Colors.
Colors?
Was his album.
What's his name?
Shaka Patah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. Because if you say he nice, because you nice. If you say he nice, I know he nice.
Man, I'll tell you one thing, right? I'm not a rapper. You feel me? I'll never ever claim. Now, I got bars. I know how to write. I'm a writer. If I subscribe to being a writer, he's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He flow. He switch it up. He does his own beats. He does his own. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually like kind of inspiring to watch him. And I don't even think I ever told him that, but it's actually inspiring to see him get in his zone and produce a track. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, you know. And then we always have this mentality where we don't want mainstream. We don't want, you know, any of that. We want to create, like you were saying before, from the beginning, from the dough to the bread. I want to create everything, skip the middleman, nothing. I just want everything right here because this is my creative expression.
Most definitely.
I don't want anybody to, number one, don't compromise it, and number two, if you're going to work there, bring the same type of energy and same passion that I bring to it.
Most definitely.
If you don't do that, then it's like, all right, well, no shade, but nah.
Let me ask you this, because we talked about everything as far as your family and everything, but we never got into, like, how did you start writing?
Man.
Because, you know what, before we go there, let me ask you a different question. You say you played football, right?
Yeah.
What other sports you played?
I was, a track, but football was it. You know what I'm saying? I came from a football family.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we didn't really do holidays, but the Super Bowl came around. That was a holiday in our house.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was a holiday in our house. All my brothers played football. My father played football. We was a football family. So I didn't really want to do any other sports outside. I did track. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you don't play track. You perform track. So I performed track. I was a jumper and a javelin thrower. I didn't really like it that much, as in competing.
Right.
But it was socially, I loved it because football was so serious. There wasn't that much of a social aspect. But when there was, when track came around, you had so many people that were just on the track team, and then you had your stars on the track team. And then you just have people that just, they just do their events. And so you're around just a lot of people. It was a real comfortable atmosphere, and we were nice. We was like, I think we was probably like second or third in the district as a team. You know what I mean? So we was nice. So it was a winning atmosphere, and people was just like mad cool with each other. So that was always nice. But that's